In this video, we're going to be learning about slip stitch. This is a very small stitch that's used in crochet most often to create a seam. And I'll show you a few examples of when you would use a slip stitch. Here I've created a circle and I want to close this circle up so that it doesn't have this gap here. And the way that I would do it is with a slip stitch. And so I will insert my hook into the next stitch, yarn over, and pull through that stitch and also through the loop on my hook, and that does a nice seam. Another example is here's the beginning of like a very simple doily type item. And again, I would join this circle by inserting my hook, yarn over and pull through both the stitch and the loop on your hook. But now let's say that my directions need me to start my next piece of the doily in this chain space. And so in order to get our working yarn over to that space, we could do a slip stitch to make it nearly invisible. So I would insert my hook into the next space, make a slip stitch by pulling through both the stitch and the loop on my hook, and do the same into the chain space. And now I'm here and I'm ready to work around this chain space, and you can barely even see where we've slip stitched over to there. And then in following rows, you would just work into that as if that slip stitch wasn't even there. And then the last example I'm going to show you of how to use a slip stitch is to create a seam. You could seam two pieces together, or you could seam both ends of one piece of work together, which is what I'm going to show you here. It'll create a tube. So I'm going to fold the two pieces together. I will insert my hook into the first chain on the front piece and the first chain on the back piece, yarn over, and then pull through all those stitches at once, including the one on your hook. You can repeat that. Put your hook through both sides of the work and then slip stitch together. And that's something that you could use to seam two pieces together, or you could see that, this might be something you'd use for a sleeve or something. And that's a slip stitch.